the people who live the best lives are not the people who are the smartest. They're the clearest thinkers.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm going to go back to, if you want to be consistent in anything, you have to get clear first. And clear is going to be up to you. And how you get clear is going to be up to you. We have our methodology that we use with people to help them get clear on what it is that they want. We can work through that, right? All that kind of stuff is getting clear on what you want and getting space from the hurtful, haunting, and annoying stories in your head,
Mm-hmm.
right? Is going to move you further, faster than anything else that I've seen out there, short of psychedelic experiences. And we're back.
And we are back.
To I heard you when you said the only podcast, or the last time you listened to this podcast, we did something different.
We did?
People thought we did.
Oh.
People thought we did.
That's accurate. You're being literal.
Quite literally we didn't, but people hadn't gotten the full shebang.
They have not.
Right? They hadn't got the full shebang, like what we do now. Why we do what we do now.
Yeah, we do.
How we came to that decision. Like, there I was.
Sitting there just minding my own business.
Minding my own business. Listening to a podcast, as I do. On a walk. Hearing some people talk about words and stories. And that's where history started.
It's a line in the sand. There's like AD and BC, and that was the line.
And
before the Common Era.
Exactly. That's what history's being made. Or history's still being made now. So let's talk about it. If you haven't caught on to this in the last
6 months.
Well, podcast episodes.
Oh, yeah.
4 episodes-ish,
Mm-hmm.
something like that. We have taken a whole body, whole spirit, whole experience dive into the world of mindset coaching. And we are no longer called Fortified Health Coaching.
We are not.
We are actually the Fortified Mindset now. Don't worry. We're still us. And don't worry. We still bring the funk.
Shut the funk up. I could not.
And if you've been following along or reading between the lines, you've likely figured out that we have transitioned our business from functional health coaching into full-time mindset coaching. So we thought it was pertinent to come and give you the story of that, give you the experiences that we've had and the decision behind or the story behind the decision to do that and talk about what it is we want to do in the world, how we see, what we do as a higher priority than what we were doing, right? Why we decided to literally cut off that part of our business.
Yeah.
And not straddle 2 things, right? As I like to say, if you only got one ass, you can't sit on 2 horses.
Agreed.
Right. So as a backstory, as for people to catch you up if you didn't already know and give you some incentive to go back and listen to the first 5 podcasts, likely. The ones where we talk about our friendship, we talk about our origin story, things of that nature. But Stacey has been doing mindset work in some way, shape, or form for over a decade.
Professionally for 10 years.
For 10 years.
Getting paid to do it for 10 years.
Cool.
Prior to that, my husband wished I would charge people.
And I've been dipping my toe in the mindset water since 2018. Mostly talking about fitness and nutrition and addressing mindset where it made sense to talk about it, right? And yet never on the level or in the way or with the clarity and the tech that we have now to be able to leverage it and get people big results in a very small amount of time.
Oh, yeah.
And really create the momentum and the impact and the leverage that people want to be able to put their life on the next level, wherever they want to go. So what we do now is, like I said, we are professional mindset coaches. And what that means is that we help people work on the story that they tell themselves. Okay. Specifically, we help family leaders build the mindset of health, wealth, and strong families. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And so, because we love working with all types of family leaders, moms, dads, um, whoever is responsible for, the family unit, because that's our story as well, right? Me and my wife with a young family, Stacey, and her husband with an older family.
Older children.
Yeah, older children.
We're almost to our empty. Well, I'm not going to say we're almost to empty nesters, but our youngest is 17.
Right.
So we're on the opposite spectrum of toddlerhood.
Sure. And combining our experiences
Mm-hmm.
and what the mindset work has done for us, and bringing that to the people, and bringing that to the people that we're already working with, and tailoring how we talk about it.
Let's talk about this for a second, because we have many people who have been our ecosystem
Sure.
who don't have families. They're not married. They don't have children. And so I got a message the other day as we changed our Facebook group to represent more of what we do currently. And they're like, should I stay? Absolutely. Because you were a pivotal part in your family unit.
Mm-hmm.
And that could be in your biological unit, or the community that you work in, or the industry that you work in. So it doesn't exclude people who aren't married or don't have here's my air quotes for traditional family unit. It is the people who are leading, whether a family of some sort, a community in some sort, or a venture of some sort, in the same ways.
Yeah. So yes, we use the term family,
Mm-hmm.
strong families. A family is another word for a unit of people,
Yeah,
who spend a lot of time and do their life together, right? Again, that could be a department at a company.
mm-hmm.
That could be a community of people in a gym. That could be a community of people in a group or a church.
Oh yeah.
Right. And at the end of the day, family leadership, or unit leadership, or leadership in general of any group of people, is going to come down to the ability to lead yourself.
Oh yes.
Right.
Oh yes.
So and you just, pulled this out of the book, The Common Rule.
Yes.
Is he describes what he does in there as a corporate lawyer or a business lawyer as turning hope into concrete reality using words. And we just had a great conversation about that. And I translated that for us into turning your hope into your reality using words. That's a lot of what we do. Words are the tool, words are the mechanism,
Mm-hmm.
the levers that we push and pull, the words and breath. And it takes more than just that. Those are the things that we pull, but it takes practice with those things. It takes a willingness, one, to actually go through the process of writing those things out,
Mm-hmm.
right? And it also comes down to you actually doing something different with your reality, the current reality that you have, right? The current purview that you have, changing the direction that you're going based on the new understanding you get with different eyes.
Oh my
right?
gosh. Yes. So before we get too far into that,
Okay.
let's go back to, you were on a walk
Okay.
and heard a podcast.
Cool.
Because I think this is a really pivotal thing for people to hear. Not many people who have a successful business.
Yeah.
Okay. Go, you know what? Let's just flip this whole thing on its head and pull one lever and pull it really well. So I'd love for us to get into finishing the story of, hey, the origin story of when it sparked for us, and then what we were seeing in our successful business that was, we didn't change it because we needed to.
Right.
We changed it because we saw a bigger pain point
Mhm.
and how to serve people better. So come back to the walk and the podcast.
Yeah. So I'm blanking on the year it was, but it was 2023, I believe, 2 or 3, and on a walk, listening to the Chasing Excellence podcast and hearing some people talk about words and stories and how that translates into your mindset. And I remember thinking, man, I use a lot of those soft talk keywords, some of those no-nos in my coaching a lot. And this is a really good way to think about this stuff. And I really enjoy this. So naturally, I followed up on it with whatever the ways you could get involved with them and went to a webinar. It was what it was. It was a workshop. It was an online workshop. And signed up for it to get the information, the replay. Didn't go to it, right? So I was cool. It was cool. I was on that walk and I totally forgot.
Oh, yeah. You were in.
Yep. However, I made it onto their email list, into their ecosystem. So fast forward to earlier this year, I get another notification that say, hey, we're doing this workshop for coaches and whatever. So we go and we attend the virtual workshop.
Mm-hmm.
And not only did we come off of that workshop and go, yep, we're doing this, like we're getting certified in this coaching. We shortly thereafter, I would say within 90 days of starting the certification, not even finishing the certification.
We made this decision before we finished it. Oh
yeah. So I would say within 2 months of starting the certification, we looked at each other and go, we're changing this. We already do this in part.
Oh yeah.
And this is a way to supercharge our efforts with how we help people transform their lives. And what it did for me personally was took the pressure off of me to have all the right answers. And it also gave me and us and our practice a breath of fresh air as to how to help people better and more clear and in less time.
100%.
And so we've had a lot of people come through. We've done a lot of sessions. We've done a lot of reps. We've done a lot of mindset sessions. I would say we're getting close to 190-minute sessions.
Oh, I thought you were going to say 200. It's closer to 200. We've done a lot.
Yeah, we've done quite a few. I know we've done at least 100, and I don't have a accurate determination of that number right here.
I'd agree with it, at least 100.
So we've been getting our reps in. We've been in the mindset gym. One of the best stories that we've had so far was a woman who we actually just got off of a call with, who is a successful business owner.
Oh yeah.
Helped launch a brand, black belt in jiu-jitsu. And she came to us. Oh, and mother of two, successful, in, raising her kids and in her marriage, and, everything's have some things that could be improved. Overall, very well put together woman. And she came to us and said, I'm struggling with getting this.
Her direct message to me was, I can't get out of my own way. I'm struggling to get out of my own way. And I went, cool, let me help.
Yeah, that's what we do, right?
Yeah.
Professional, cool. Get you out of your own wayers.
Yeah. And let me, I'm really good at this. Yeah. Come over here.
So long story short, we determine, or we get down to, there was a Lord of the Rings story. There was a thing that held it all together.
Oh yeah.
Or really, in this case, the thing that held it all back. And the story of her mother's death and what that meant about her, and her constant fear that every time that she had a health issue or something didn't go right, that her imminent demise was right around the corner.
Oh yeah.
And it was jammed up in there with a lot of other underlying things based around her childhood, and that was a big one. Once we worked her through the story of her relationship with her mother and her mother's death and what that meant about her and the things that come along with that, it really cleared a lot of mental real estate for her, took the air out of a lot of those big, scary, in your face pictures in your head for her, and slowed her down enough to be like, man, I know I've got a few answers for myself now. I know how to move forward with a couple of these things. I can create some space from some of these quote unquote problems in my life and start to take a step towards the things that I want to do. right? And of course, we just got off of a call with her, and now she's, I would say, 75% of the way to launching
a brand new brand.
a brand new brand.
Which I'm going to say it right now because I gave her the analogy today of when this gets big, like Poppy, the drink brand, and it gets sold for billions of dollars. She's like, I said, don't be surprised. And I love when I say things like that when they're just organic, because I get to watch them play out. It wasn't manufactured. Of when you get to watch somebody do something so pivotal and go, oh my goodness, we have no idea how big this is going to get. More than we could imagine or ask or think. And to be there at the inception of it and get to be a part of a tool in her tool bag that allowed her to create this is just absolutely phenomenal. But go ahead, pick up the story of launching a brand new brand.
Well, and that's where she was able to have the creativity to even, it came to her as an idea while she was laying in bed one night.
Yes.
And her to even have that idea came mainly because she had space and clarity to think about it, because you cannot be creative when your body thinks you're just surviving. You cannot create in survival, right? And so she is infinitely more down the road because of the ability that she was able to put the mindset processes that we like do the work that we asked her to do, right?
Oh yeah.
And come to the sessions and write the stuff that sucks and read it and breathe and all of the things that we do with people. And so here we are. I won't say flipped our whole business on its head. We got very specific about what we do and ultra concentrated in how we do it.
Well, and here, let's talk about the why.
Okay.
Because I've been doing this for 10 years, and this was the thing that led me into nutrition and health coaching. Was I knew that I didn't have the skill set to give my clients everything. This is before our time together, before all of this. It was like, I am not the complete coach. So dove into the nutrition and health industry to help people with their weight and health, because that was my story. But the lever that I pulled and why I had so much success with people, which was really problematic and controversial in the way that I coached, was the mindset piece that you can't outwork a stress response. You can't tax a body that's already been taxed. We can't change behavior patterns within food when we still have emotional connections to food. So I gave a lot of grace with clients. It took longer for my clients to see weight loss, but those who did sustained it for much longer periods of time. And so as we moved from working for somebody else to then working for ourselves, we kept running up against the same problem. This wasn't a macros issue. This wasn't even necessarily a functional health issue, though people had those issues. At the core of it, to get people to move forward, these were stories about their body, about their relationships, about what their health meant, about the fear of dying or playing with their kids, that were all standing in the way of their physical progress. And typically when people came to us, that's what they wanted most. They wanted weight loss. And so taking the 10 years prior and our 2 years together, going, hold on, if we're going to pull one lever, the thing we spend the most time on is the words people use about themselves and the people around them and what they make them mean. So I have fully agree with you that we didn't turn it on its head. We let a piece go so that we could do this piece better with precision and so much faster. And if there's anything that surprised me, was as we stepped into this certification, was it gave me structure and repeatability for every single client. That it was like, we learned new tech, absolutely, but it's repeatable for everyone in any situation. Yeah. So we just got precise. Take out the just. We got precise.
We got precise, and we also were, by using our own tech on ourselves.
Oh yeah.
We went through the process of, in some ways, mourning the loss of that part of our business.
Let's talk about that, because for people who are looking at either making their own business or changing their identity, their identity. We let go of who we were
Yeah.
to create something new.
Well, and I like that we're going to zoom in on that. And here's why. A lot of people come to us in transition.
Oh, yes.
Almost everyone that we work with comes to us in a transition, and thank God that they do, because we help make that process infinitely smoother and ultimately more sustainable.
Agreed.
So people don't double back on themselves, right? And start to lose confidence or lose clarity in who they are and what they do. So yeah, we had an identity crisis. It's essentially, as a business, we had an identity crisis. We said, we're not in love with coaching people's functional health and the health and fitness side of this anymore. We're not in love with that anymore, right? That doesn't get us up every day. And we realize that it is a necessary and important piece
Agreed.
to move people further down the road in their quality of life, right?
I'm going to interrupt you for a second.
Okay.
Also, we are really fucking good at it. We got people results. We have 2 Fortified babies. 2 people that one of them didn't even know if they wanted to get married, went to their wedding, and they just had a baby. We have another client who wasn't even sure they'd get to keep their uterus and is currently pregnant. And so we've got people, their cycles back after not having their cycles for years. We've repaired gut issues that they went years without even knowing how to, that medical doctors couldn't repair. We have people who couldn't have bowel movements that were using colonics to have bowel movements. And so the needles that we moved were large and we were really good at it. So to say that not only were we at the peak of our functional capacity, like we were doing things you dream of doing from a functional world,
Yeah.
and really good at it and having success at it, to go, hey, we don't love this. And most people, when they don't love something, stay longer in it than they, I'm going to say, should. And that had been our story previously too.
Mm-hmm.
And so for us to be like, we don't love this anymore, talk about how we came to that decision. I remember we were sitting right there. I remember that day.
Yeah. Well, I'd been having the thought, I think we both had been having the thoughts for a few weeks at that point of going like, yeah, like this is, because we were already using a lot of the methods before we officially graduated the certification, because we already knew enough to do it, right? We knew enough to move forward. We just hadn't got our reps in yet. And so we were doing it and we were having a good time doing it and feeling much more sense of accomplishment and clarity and being able to talk about it and being excited about it and doing it in our off, like reading and watching about it in our off time. And the more that we did that separately and together, it was like, yeah, I'm not fired up to fix somebody's thyroid anymore, right? I'm not fired up to put somebody on a 5-hour gut protocol or make them a really cool supplement, regimen or whatever it was. And at the same time, I love the fact that that is necessary, right? That is a lever to pull. And when I know that I'm not aligned with something, I'm very quickly going to become highly annoyed with it.
I would agree that that's how I experience you in it.
People are not going to get what we ask them to invest in it, and that's not okay with me. I'm not going to sit there and compromise the quality of my coaching when I don't want to do that anymore. Right now, I will fulfill the commitments of the people who've already made a commitment to us to take care of those things for them. We still do have people that we coach their health. Yes, this is true. Not new people, right? People who are already here with us and
we're going to see them through their journey,
a year plus, right? Yep. And so now, have we doubled down on the mindset piece of their journey to make sure that we're clearing that mental real estate and addressing things as they come up and celebrating them and helping them essentially pour gas on the fire that is their health journey, right?
Well, and we're seeing them work beautifully in tandem,
right? So they do work together, and we love that. However, that's not what lit us up anymore, right? And so we did have that moment of like, oh, is this like, do we even tried like, okay, so we offer the mindset on the front end, and then we can do like, health on the back end, and whatever. We tried to sit on two horses, right? We tried to sit on one ass on two horses type thing, and it didn't feel right.
Well, and it really, like, I'm going to say it sucks because we're good at it.
Yeah.
And there's a void for people who do what we do. And so when you're good at something and then you're like, yeah, we know you can't find that anywhere else. And also, well, we're not going to do that.
Not only are we good at it, we've invested
a significant amount of
thousands of dollars in being trained on that.
Yeah.
And so when we got to the point where we didn't need to do anything, and we got to the point where we looked at each other and go, this is what we're going to do. We made that decision at that point and moved forward with that. Hey, we're no longer advertising that we do health coaching, that we do functional health coaching. And in short order, changed our trade name to reflect that, right? So we're no longer Fortified Health Coaching. We are the Fortified Mindset. We still loved the concept and the idea that we brought to life. We needed to change it towards what we actually focus on now. So when we made that decision and we moved forward with that, for me, and because, like I said, back when I learned the mindset tech that we use today, it was a huge sigh of relief to be like, man, I so love the fact that I don't have to wake up tomorrow and adjust somebody's macros, or I don't have to wake up tomorrow and try to figure out a symptom that someone's experiencing while they're doing it and how to adjust their current lifestyle to go with that. That is super important because people do need to feel good to be able to think good.
Agree.
And they need to be able to think good to get themselves to feel good for the longest amount of time and the highest quality, right? So if we're going to go into that piece, is the quality of your emotions is the quality of your life. And so what we really do is help people upgrade the quality of their daily and long-term emotions by pulling the breath, the levers of the words and breath, and using the stories that are in their head, putting them on paper, infinitely easier to work on, and moving them forward in that way. And then whatever they decide to do with that, totally up to them, right? We've got people who starting businesses, people who are upgrading their jobs, people who are starting families, people who are losing weight and upgrading their health. What else? People who are working to start and run nonprofits. And ultimately, and you can speak to this, our heart is to bring this to people who frankly couldn't afford it any other way, and be able to watch that, like, wouldn't come to this help any other way. I afford it, yes, in some senses, but people who would be burnt out on the other methods of mental health, of improving your mental health and your mental fitness, and giving them a step ahead, giving them something to hold on to.
Well, I think of the client that we've been recently working with that went to therapy for 7 years at $250 a pop. Let's do that math. So if you're going to therapy once, twice a month, so let's just say it's $500 a month times 12, $6,000 a year times 7 years, $42,000, and came to us. And it was one session. It was the first session. And she was like, you guys have done in one session what 7 years of therapy could not do. I could tell you why I am the way I am till the cows come home. I could write a thesis, but it was never, how do I do this differently? And having clients who were therapists on our roster going, oh, I don't want to see a therapist. What you guys do is so profound that I want to do this way, because I don't trust another therapist to do that. Now, therapy is great for for a lot of people for a short amount of time to handle a very stressful stimulus. I think therapy can be great for people. I think the current way that therapy is handled in our country is transactional, and the great therapists are not taking insurance, and the great therapists are $250 an hour or more. And so you can know all the why, but how is the how? And so when we talk about people are burnt out, they're absolutely burnt out. And I'll even go one step further, is like when we talk about family, health, and wealth, that's not just financial. That's the quality of your life based on the emotions that you carry. And as we got more precise, and I'll say granular in what we do and how we do it, I'm gonna throw this out to, especially at this time of year, because it was a conversation that you and I were having earlier this week, is how do we still impact people who want to lose weight? And if you are the person who knows you're going to eat whatever the next 8 weeks, cool, do it. But it's like, in January, I'm going to start my health journey again. In January, I'm going to lose weight. In January, you've said that 72 Januaries. You're not that old. It wasn't 72. However many Januaries it's been. Maybe you're 72. I don't know. My ask is that you come work with us first before anybody does another diet, health protocol. Start with the story that you're telling yourself, and I will promise you, hands down, you will see results in whatever modality you choose after that, because we're not going to coach you on nutrition or health or macros or any of that, but you will see success that you've never seen before, that is sustainable, because there are many layers underneath that have nothing to do with your actual weight. Things we've talked about, having fat versus being fat, that's other podcasts people can listen to. But going into this is really the foundation of our heart, of making it accessible. And afford is often tied to financial things, but it's also, I'm going to tie it to pain points. Like, you might have a lot of financial resources, but you can't carry this weight on your back
Right.
any longer. The pain point is too high, especially in transition.
Well, and emotionally affordable.
Oh, God.
I know that sounds like a big, $100 phrase. What's the real cost of moving forward with a weight loss program or any fitness improvement program that is a low financial cost, but drags it out of you over the long term? And I don't mean like drags money out of you, but drags the emotion and beating your head against the wall and the struggle and the constant, digging yourself, the constant feeling like you're spinning your wheels. Like, how much emotionally is it costing you to try to stick to this thing that you keep running up against yourself in pursuit of that, right? Like, you only pay $100 a month for this thing or whatever it is. And yet, even if you lose weight, how long are you going to do that? But also, how far are you actually going to go to sustain the rhythms that you are trying to be so consistent with? Before I move forward with that, do you want to know a blast from the past I just thought of?
Oh my gosh, please tell me.
7 years ago, just about 7 years ago, I started a Facebook group. The first time I was getting people involved with nutrition. And the name of that Facebook group was Know Yourself Nutrition. So in some way, I've been talking about this for 7 years, from the aspect of, hey, you're going to need to know yourself if you're going to stick to anything, right? It does not matter what you want to do. If it's a savings plan, if it's a weight loss plan, if it's a, how to get closer to your loved ones, plan, a book, what a book told you to do, whatever, or any New Year's resolution that you're going to set, right? Which we'll get to that later. That if you want to be consistent in anything, and if there's anything that we've heard ad nauseum, is if I was more consistent with that, then things would be different, right? Or whatever the next part of that phrase is. You will not find consistency without first finding clarity. I'll say that again. You can write this down unless you're in your car.
Then don't do that.
Then you can write it down later.
Yeah.
You will not find consistency without first finding clarity. Let me tell you what I mean when I say that. If you don't know clearly where you want to go and clearly how you see yourself in your mind's eye, like the story you tell yourself about yourself, right? Which is how our definition of mindset, right? The story that you tell yourself. If you don't see, if you've never looked into that, anytime you try to adopt a new practice, a new rhythm, a new something into your life, which is going to become a part of you, understand that things that you do are not just things that you do, they become who you are, right? Your intention is instructions for your brain. So anytime you set an intention, you're telling your brain something. And so in your brain, if the story that you tell yourself is, I'm not good enough, I've always been fat, I'll never be the weight that I want to be, my parents were always fat, that's just the way I grew up, and this is just the way the world is, and I probably just need to go get surgery, whatever the thing. And we're just talking about weight loss stories here because we're on that topic. That intention, those instructions for your brain are not going to come through very well, right? Because you're not clear on who you are, the things you struggle with, right? Just writing those things down. I'm not even saying writing it out as a story, right? I'm just saying writing the things down as, okay, every time I've tried to lose weight, what are the main things that get in my way, right? Ding, 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 ding. 5 things, right?
Okay, let's go one step further. Every time I try to better my relationship with my spouse, what are the main things that get in the way? And typically, or the main, I try to get my finances in order.
Yep.
What are the main? Oh well, it's Christmas, and then it's New Year's.
It's the green lady.
It's you bought my green lady, did I? Thank you. I wish it was just the green lady.
Can I read the text that I sent after you said, "Hey, can you give me some Starbucks?"
Yes.
I said, there I was, minding my own business, when the green lady drugged me back into the depths of her caffeine-fueled graces.
History doesn't repeat itself, it rhymes. Any challenge you are currently facing is not new. There's nothing new under the sun. It's how long do you want to repeat the pattern? Because the story that you tell yourself about it is the thing that keeps the behavior going. I was thinking about this as you were talking, that we define identity as a collection of stories. And so for us to go, hey, we decided to change our identity, who we were, what our careers were built on, how people knew us, which means some people weren't going to choose to stay with us. People really cared about, had great relationships over the last few years, that this isn't the version of us currently is not the version that they want. Mm-hmm. And the way that we coach now is more challenging than a previous version of us, because now we're going into the depths and celebrating the heights. Like, we're not only going to the haunting, the hurting, and the annoying, mm-hmm. We're actually going to work through that and celebrate you in a way that and have you celebrate yourself in a way that you never have, and do goal setting that's not just, ambiguous, and you get to create a version of yourself that you've never seen before. That's highly confrontational, and most people would pay not to do that. And we've seen that the previous version of us for some people was more attractive, and that's okay. I think the beautiful part of this is we've been really honest from the beginning. This podcast is almost 2 years old, that people have gotten to watch us evolve as we continue to do the work both personally and professionally. And so I say that because I think of what a different spot I would have been in without you. Like, let's just play this game that we watched my weight loss happen very quickly. And then we watched stress and all of that happen. And we had to run all those functional protocols to get my body in line. That if I didn't have my story straight about the process, I would have kept doing the same thing and not gotten any different results, which is the literal definition of crazy. I would have continued training hard. I would have, tried switching 17 different macros, and none of that would have fixed the internal issue, right? I never would have picked a GLP. because that had a story attached to it, which we've talked about. And even now, 50 pounds in, is that the story keeps evolving, that there's a new version of me and a new collection of stories, that if we hadn't chosen this methodology and we daily do this work. And so for people who are, those of you who are listening, this is a daily practice we do.
Yeah.
We just don't ask our clients to do this. We committed to do this for 90 days. And I think 90 days is just an arbitrary number. I can't believe with the success we're having, why we're going to stop. That's like, I'm going to stop drinking water because I met my water goal. I'm going to stop training. I got the physique I wanted. So you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to stop.
Just gonna stop doing what got me here.
I'm going to stop sleeping, because I woke up rested. So our intent was 90 days.
I'm going to stop working. I have enough money now.
Stop working. That the fruit of what we're doing is not only seen in our clients, but personally, that keeps us coming back to, we made the right decision before we had evidence that it was the right decision.
Sure. Well, and there's still days that, this is why the practice is important. There's still days that we look at ourselves or look at what we're doing and look at each other and go, this is hard.
Mm-hmm.
It's really hard, right? And there's certain days that we're like, well, yeah, like we're cruising, like we're knocking it out, we're burning the world down, right? And there's certain days where we're like, does anybody even care about what I have to say, right? Like there are highs and lows in everything that you do, and we're talking about it from the standpoint of building a business.
Yeah, clients are easy. Like our client interaction, that is gold.
100%.
That's why we do this.
Yeah,
we're talking about from being entrepreneurs and showing up and growing a business is the challenging part.
Growing a business, growing a movement, and trying to create a community of people who care about thinking about their thinking. That's really what we're trying to do. We're really trying to grow a movement of people who want to think more about their thinking to move their life forward, not because they want to be philosophical, right? It's not about like, we're the how people, not the why people, right?
Mm-hmm.
We've talked about that before, and we can double down on that here. Is the methodology that we use is mechanics of mindset, mechanics of storytelling. And so we use the mechanics to get the result, because we don't really care about why you are the way you are. Therapy is great at that. So if you want to understand that, therapy, we play well with everybody. It's a team sport, what we do.
Agreed.
And at the same time is therapy, as many breakthroughs as you might have, it's the pattern does not tend to lend to long-term behavior change. We still are working on long-term behavior change, just like we were in health coaching.
Oh yeah.
Those behaviors are just pointed toward behaviors with food, behaviors with movement, behaviors with sleep, right? Now we're pointed towards behaviors with work, behaviors with family, behaviors with finances, right? Whatever the person wants to work on.
Ooh, behaviors with time.
Behaviors with, the whole thing is a behavior with time.
Focus.
Focus. And so what we've honed in on is the people who live the best lives are not the people who are the smartest. They're the clearest thinkers. And so I'm going to go back to, if you want to be consistent in anything, you have to get clear first. And clear is going to be up to you. And how you get clear is going to be up to you, right? We have our methodology that we use with people to help them get clear on what it is that they want, what were they rubbing up against in the first place. We can work through that, right? All that kind of stuff is getting clear on what you want and getting space from the hurtful, haunting, and annoying stories in your head, right, is going to move you further, faster than anything else that I've seen out there, right? Short of psychedelic experiences, right, which are great, but don't tend to stick around for very long, right? Unless you're the type of person who just, that works for you, cool, right? But I've heard plenty of people in separate conversations talk about how they've had great psychedelic experiences and it changed their viewpoint on whatever it was that they were going through. Did it change their behavior into a way that they're actually going to become a different person? Yes and no, right? There are still things that they have to work on. Here's my point. I'm going to go back to this. It's a practice. You're always practicing something. So our argument, what we stand on, is that we equip people to deal with their life and not escape it.
Yeah.
Right? We give people the tools to deal with their life and their current situation and find a different meaning in those stories that they tell themselves, about other people, about their life and their finances and their health and their family, to be able to move through great times and not diminish them, and move through hard times and not get crushed by them.
Great language.
Helping people or equipping people, not helping them with the escape.
It's a hard ask.
That's a really hard ask. That's why we like to say people would pay not to do this work. People would pay not to do this work. And trust me, it's an investment. And the financial investment is
the
least of the concern, right? You could make the financial investment 5 times over, and the depth that you're willing to go to is the reward that you'll get out of it, right? It's just like anything else.
Okay, question for you.
Okay.
Personal story. Let's go. Over the last 30 days, as we've committed to writing daily, what is the biggest change you've seen in yourself?
Biggest change that I've seen from being this consistent with the practice is being excited to take the smallest step forward. So I've come to the conclusion that if I can wake up and go, man, I'm excited to get 1% better today, to just move the ball a little forward today, I've got a tool that I'm going to go and write about that in at the end of the day, right? And be able to embody that if I can wake up and be excited to take the smallest step forward, and by the smallest step, I literally mean like we've had days where from an outside, like checking the boxes standpoint, it wouldn't look like we did a lot, but we got so clear. We moved a lot of the junk out of the way and got to the thing that we wanted to get to by the end of the day, or whatever it was by the end of the exercise, that I'm like, yep, that's exactly what we wanted to do today. That's exactly what we should, whatever. That's exactly what made sense to do today. And so being excited to take if you can consistently wake up and be excited to take the smallest step forward, you're going to win at whatever you do. It makes no difference if we were going to be circus performers.
Oh my God.
Or the best coaches in the world.
One of us is very coordinated. The other one is not.
Or
one of us fell over a pickleball court on Sunday. It was not you.
Or decide we're going to bike across the country, right? If we can wake up, and if I can wake up and be excited to take the smallest step forward, that's all I care about. What did it do for you?
It slowed everything down. And what I mean by that is that for the season that my family is in, I'd like to run really fast. I'd like us to grow fast. I'd like to create more freedom for my family. And in writing and moving from being the participant in the story to being, hey, I can look at this and I have clarity here, it made me content with pace, which is showing up in every area of life. So I don't currently feel like I have the weight of solving all of the problems on my shoulders now. And I even said it yesterday. I can't remember what question you asked me. I'm like, I've got a few golden opportunities that I need to resolve before I can look into this next thing. I've got some golden opportunities to play with, and then I have capacity to go search for this other thing of going, hey, not ignoring, not oblivious that there's challenges. Half the problem with a problem is calling it a problem. Okay? And so how can I slowly move forward? Where previous versions of me were, what's the fastest way to get there? Did that. There was a lot of collateral damage and pressure on me personally, physically, would be one of the biggest ramifications. And I'm not willing to jeopardize my health for we make it through. We make it to the other side. I'm not in control of that pacing or timing. So being able to get the reps in is go, cool. You don't have to have all the answers. And even if you thought you had all the answers, how'd that work out for you before? How do we ask better questions? How do we do all of that. So for me, being content with the slowness, which I don't even know if he was it intentional to pick a program for me, or a training program that was slow, or just it happened to work out that way.
I will say there was some thought put into the modality that's used. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So that's you're using a lot of tempo in that program.
Yeah.
So there was some thought put into that. Mainly I wanted to expose you to things that don't get exposed a lot.
Yeah.
Which is unilateral stuff.
Yeah.
So if you're working with dumbbells, it's going to show up, right?
Well, I'm so thankful you did. And this is how we've watched this show up, is alignment. So if you were to ask me what is the main thing, it would be slow is the fastest way to go. And I'm going to use this word. Never have I ever watched things move into alignment so quickly at a steady pace that we have the endurance to sustain. And I'll say that, and I say we because we, but I'd say even within our families, like there's a cadence, because they are interconnected, of we can run this pace and we can do this.
Yeah. Well, and we chose this pace from the beginning, even when we didn't know what the business was going to look like.
Yeah.
Right now we have the most clarity, the most pacing,
Mm-hmm.
right? So I'm going to equate slowness to pacing, right?
Yeah.
Not slow for slow's sake.
No.
Slow as a pace, as a rhythm that can be repeated over the course of time, because it's not how much money you can make and how fast you can grow. It's how long you can stay alive in whatever capacity that you're, like how long you can sustain that effort. That's going to determine who's around and who's not around in 5 years, 10 years, 20 years.
Well, and the impact we get to make.
Right.
Right. So yes, there are financial.
Well, you got to stay alive to make impact, right?
Absolutely.
So I'm going at base need here.
Yeah.
So the biggest takeaway, like you said, is, or if you want to put our two experiences together, right? Being able to take the small step forward, being able to slow it down, is that doesn't happen without first gaining the space and the clarity. That doesn't happen without zooming out. Okay. We have to zoom out. I had to have a process to be able to zoom out. We use our methodology, right? Putting pen to paper. We're going back to analog, right?
We are so analog right now.
We're gonna
get more analog.
Our community is going to be based around a hybrid of analog and digital practices. It's just, I'm going to double down on this. So what is today? November the 5th.
November the 5th,
2025. I promise you. I don't know how many times I said it. A lot.
Many.
That
to the third power.
As AI speeds things up, people are going to want to invest in in-person connections, slowing things down, getting back outside, doing things the quote-unquote old-fashioned way. And they're going to invest heavy time, energy, and money into that stuff. So that is the direction we are headed in our practices. That is the direction we are headed in our guidance of other people. That is the direction we are headed in how we form a community, and just the stuff that we want to offer to the world. A lot of that comes at a cost. It costs to slow down.
Mm-hmm.
There's a certain amount of pain involved in a rhythmic lifestyle. There's more pain involved in a fast-paced lifestyle. You just don't see it till you're burnt out.
Agreed.
Right? It looks like you're being efficient until you're at a dead stop. Right? Versus taking it a step back, zooming out a little bit, taking a rhythm. Right? We know that anything that's worth getting doesn't come quick.
So I was standing at a CrossFit competition, not minding my own business at all. About, what was this, 3 weeks ago? 3 or 4 weeks ago?
3 weeks ago.
And a woman came up to me and said, "Hey, is this the way you coach?" I was like, interesting. Tell me more. And she had seen our soft talk keyword things where I was. And she tells me her name, and she tells me the nonprofit she works for, the nonprofit she builds. And I went, oh my goodness. Can I tell you a story? 3 years ago, at Monster Games, I saw this guy with a t-shirt that said, if you think this is hard, foster care is harder. And I started up a conversation with him, and I had no business committing to saying I'd do a competition 3 years ago. And I committed, and then I did not obviously follow through. And we started a great conversation. We actually have a call with her tomorrow to talk about how we can work together. She comes back to me and says, "Hey, that was Chris. By the way, he remembers you." When we talk about going in person and coming back to analog, that was an in-person conversation at an event I had no business committing to. As our friend and client Tanya would say, my alligator mouth and my bird dog ass committed to something I should have just paid money for a t-shirt for. Was 3 years in the making. That's going to be a great relationship. And there's other pieces to that story that led us to the gentleman that's hosting the competition for them this year, who's bringing us to prison with him, but he is bringing us to prison with him.
Yeah.
And that when you say we are slowing down, it is countercultural. And we are going back to the thing that matters most, and that is relationships in person. Whether that is people listening to us now, getting to see us at a workshop, getting to meet us wherever we're speaking, or being able to coach online, is that our intent is really pure and the work we do is pivotal. And at times it can take 3 years for a conversation I had in the middle of my ego being very loud to come to something beautiful. And if we hadn't pivoted, not only would I not be doing the event in June this year, but the relationship we get to have with Casa, it would not be the same. So it's a good thing.
Well, good things take time, right? Things that are hurried are not worth it is the thing that comes to my mind, but they're not permanent. They're not going to have the effect that you want them to have. Right.
Mm-hmm.
And so as we wrap this up here, I'm going to extend an invite to everybody.
We're inviting people places. I love when we invite people.
2 things. We have a free community on Facebook called Stressed Parents Finding Balance. Like Stacey said, you do not have to be necessarily a parent. It could be anybody who's just trying to lead themselves. Now, the principles we talked about can be applied across the board. We cater to stressed parents because we're parents ourselves. And so we bring those tools to anybody who's looking to lead themselves in order to lead other people, right? And so I'm going to invite you to come and join our community where we have tools in there to improve your mindset. We talk about stories of people improving their lives through using these tools, and we even offer exclusive things that we do as a company, whether that's small group coaching or one-on-one coaching and things like that, to those people differently than we do the outside world, because they've invested in being a part of our community. So we're going to invite you to that. I'm going to invite you to that. And secondly, we are kicking off our first iteration of a 10-person small group cohort called Built to Lead, which is for people who want to learn how to lead themselves, lead their family, and lead their life better, using the practices and the principles that we just talked for however long about. That will be available in the show notes here in order to go and invest and be a part of that. That'll be kicking off in January. I don't have the exact date off the top of my head, but that will be kicking off in January. And that'll be a 6-week cohort that I can promise you one thing. By the end of that cohort, I just talked about clarity being the thing that you need to be consistent. At the end of that cohort, you're going to have more clarity on the direction that you want to go in whatever the area that you care about the most than you did when you stepped in there. Oh, and by the way, when you invest in our cohorts, we put you in a exclusive group of people, an exclusive community inside of Mighty Networks, a platform that we're going to use to be a part of that community forever. So you invest in the cohort one time, and you're going to be a part of you're going to have access to those materials and be a part of that conversation as long as we're around, because our belief is that by you being involved, by you getting that upfront education and investment, and you being involved in that practice in that community, then you can actually help other people better and bring them those practices. So that's my invitation.
That's a great invitation.
I love it.
It was good to do this again.
It was good to do this again. So if you have questions about those invitations, please hit us up on Instagram. That's the easiest way to get a hold of us.
Oh, because somebody has a new handle.
We do. I do.
I'm like, we don't, you do.
Stacey is still Stacey J. Hansen on Instagram. I am not Farmer to Fitter anymore. I am now Justin Carroll _mindset. And story for a different day. The point is, hit us up, have a conversation, ask us questions, give us feedback. If you love the episode, say I love the episode. If you didn't like the episode, then don't send me a message. I don't care. Anyway,
send me a message. I'd love to talk to you.
Yeah, we can talk about the story you tell yourself about our podcast. And so from there, I do want to say again, thank you for listening. Thank you for following. Thank you for watching. And until next time, y'all be good.